Hello friends and welcome to Tutorials Point. Well, in this video we are going to discuss a few words which you might end up getting confused with. And we definitely don't want that to happen, right? So there are certain words which actually look very similar. And they actually are similar to an extent that it becomes really tough for us to gauge as to which word to use where, right? So in this video you will see a few such words which you might have sometime in the past mistaken and used in place of the other, and henceforth you are not going to do this because your confusion will be completely clear, right? So let's go ahead and see whatever we are talking about. Okay, so if you look at this sentence, we need laws that ensure the dash treatment of animals. Now both these words, human and humane, both of these words look very similar, right? When we look at them in the first go, we just feel like, okay, we could have used any one of it here and it would just fit appropriately. Whereas the fact is that it is not so. Human is a human being that we are talking about. But humane is a treatment, like you are being very compassionate, being very kind, being very polite, being very considerate with someone. That is when you are supposed to carry out a humane treatment. So here, because we are talking about, the context is all about treating the animals in a very respectful, very polite and a very caring manner, thus humane will be the right answer. Right? So next time whenever you see both of these words, do not mismatch them, right? Okay, how about this sentence? His spirited talk boosted the dash of his employees. Now moral and morale. Now both of these words, of course, very similar, very confusing, devious for us to judge and decide which one to use. But here, what is moral? So moral is the, whatever is the crux or moral values, right? That is what is the, let us say the moral of the story. So the crux or the summary or the basic understanding or the basic concept, that is when you are going to use this word moral, right? But how about morale? So morale is a word which actually means self-confidence or self-esteem or encouragement. That is what is meant by this word morale. So here, if you observe this sentence, it is all about his spirited talk boosted the morale of his employees, which means it boosted the confidence, it encouraged the employees, they were high-spirited, it completely gingered them up, it kindled the fire in them. So that is what is the context all about. So here, though this choice also, both of these choices seem very luring and we might just get confused as to which one to choose, but don't make that mistake next time and don't get confused next time. Morale is the right word to be used here. Okay, now here, he was a highly dash person. So here, what are you going to use, moral or morale? So here we are talking about some person's core qualities, that so and so person was a very was a person with very high moral values. So which means that this person had that kind of an attitude which was very courteous and with all those virtues basis which you could call someone a very well respected, a very nice human being kind of a person, right? So here, are you going to use morale? Definitely not. So morale, as we all know, what does it mean? It means to boost, or to encourage or to self-esteem. That is what is meant by morale. But here, moral is the correct option to be chosen. Okay, how about this word? A smile dash up his face. So is it going to be alighted or is it going to be lighted? So again, when we'll see both of these options, probably, we'll just feel, okay, there's hardly any difference. Just one A that also attached in the front, that's okay, doesn't make much difference. But my dear friends, it makes a lot of difference. because alighted means to get down, right? That is what is meant by alighted, or to descend. That is the correct meaning of alighted, whereas lighted means to light up something, lit up, his face lit up with happiness. So here, a smile lighted up his face, so started to glow. That is what is meant by this, right? So here, alighted, though looks very alluring, very attractive, very easy to choose, but will definitely not be the right option, right? So here, lighted is going to be the right option. Okay, so how about this sentence? The princess dashed from the carriage. So the princess alighted from the carriage. Now you know why, because alighted means to get down, right? Or he was the only person who alighted from the train, or you know, that is how you're going to use it, to get down or to descend. That is what is meant by alighted. So here, for all the correct reasons, now you know that alighted is the right option. Okay. Now, my mother goes to the temple dash. How about these two options? My God, way too confusing, way too tough to judge which one to use. There is hardly any difference. Okay, so both of these words, I think most of the times while we would use them in our written language, or maybe in our spoken language as well, we definitely commit an error. So here is what. So every day means this one, the first option, which is without any space in it. Actually, every day means something that is ordinary, something that happens, you know, something that has to take place every day. That is what is, you know, called as everyday, or something that is routine or ordinary, or which has been happening over a period of time. That is what is the contextual use of everyday. For example, and this other option, every space and day, this actually means every day. So which means literally each and every day is what is referred to here as, right? So here, my mother goes to the temple every day, this one. Now you know that why, because here this every day actually means each and every day, whereas this every day, this the one without any space, actually means something that is ordinary, something that happens and is bound to happen each and every day, right? That is what is meant by every day. So here, look at this this second example, you will definitely understand. I need someone to do dash chores like cooking and cleaning. So this here is when we are going to use this option, and now you know why. So everyday chores, which means ordinary chores, or those chores which happen each and every day, which is you know, which repeatedly happen, and they are bound to happen all the time. So that is the contextual usage of this everyday compared to the other everyday. So now you understand, this is literal everyday, which means each and every day, whereas this everyday, the first one without any space, means something that is ordinary and is bound to happen. Okay, tell me the amount in dash figures. So round or around, both of the words are again look very confusing. So round or around. So around means when you are in vicinity, when you are in the vicinity of someone or something, that is around. Whereas round means one could be shape, whereas a round figure again is a mathematical term, which I am sure we all are aware of, right? So the closest figure. So here the correct you know, according to the context, the correct option is going to be round figure, which means if it's, let us say, if it is something like maybe 25 rupees and 75 paise or something, you're going to round it up to 26 rupees, right? So this is, I think, probably something that happens with us each and every day. I mean, most of the times it happens with us. We might go to a market and you never know, the shopkeeper doesn't have a change, and then what do? The shopkeeper actually ends up counting the round figure. So that is what is meant by this round, right? Okay, another pair of words. Now look at this. No one came to his dash. Now aid and aid, both of these words actually sound the same. The spellings are different. Now which one to be used? Now here, aid means to help someone, right? That is what is meant by aid. Whereas this aid is someone who is an assistant, a helper, or someone who is an important person, or maybe a dignitary. That is what is meant by this aid. Now here, if you observe, no one came to his help would be the correct context. So according to that, the first aid is the right option to be chosen here, right? Not the second one. So now I think you are clear. The second aid, AIDE, actually means someone who is a helper, is an assistant, or right, or an important person, or a dignitary. That is what is meant by aid. This, the second aid, right? So first aid here means help, right? So friends, these were few very confusing words which definitely, you know, act us to confuse us to an extent that we end up choosing the wrong option. But now that you've seen this video, definitely this confusion is not going to be lurking in your mind anymore, isn't it? Okay, so here are all the answers ready for you. So whenever you practice them, so keep learning with Tutorials Point and Tutorix. We will see you again in the next video. Have a good day.